What is up, YouTube? Dumbasses. Like, share, subscribe, support stream if you feel so inclined. I'm artisanmc, bundled up in the place to be, heading into the job. Call it a job today because I'm kind of mixed feelings about it today. Person turquoise waving. What's up, Toya? What up, Trail? Appreciate y'all coming through. So, shout out to the two ninjas watching from the clouds. So I'm heading in. I'm feeling so better. So I got my emergency, an apple, my coffee, and heading in. Get stuff done for today. And I'm thinking about some of my own personal situation I'm dealing with right now, and some of the things that Grinch said yesterday on his stream. Shout out to Grinch guy. And it was really about how this Jonathan Majors case, how you should move after seeing this Jonathan Majors case. And I said I wasn't going to talk about it much anymore. That's why it's not in the title. It's not about that shit. But at the same time, you do have to read the terrain on what's happened to this world and figure out another way to move. And understanding that none of this world does not play by the rules for you. It does not play by the rules for you. And it doesn't necessarily matter how much you play by the rules. It will bend the rules like Neo in the Matrix to make sure they find you wrong in some sense. Now, y'all know I was having a long conversation with my mother yesterday, which initially started about corporatism, because there were some things said about me in my view that were patently ridiculous and utterly objectionable to what I do. And one of the things that keeps sticking out in my mind is me not being a team player. And my approach to dealing with people when they are wrong. Now, the voice, or I guess Selma in my head saying I shouldn't talk about it because some of those people that I do work with listen to my streams. And just like my last two black females in positions of authority they had here, they called through your social media, try to find reasons to get rid of your ones or make frivolous complaints to HR. So the interest be a little contained. One of my first lessons I learned when I became a supervisor, a leader among other workers, is that there are more rules on you than there are on the other person. There are certain things you cannot say at all. There are certain ways you cannot talk to people at all. Because you are now a representative of that company. It cannot be seen as a way that you are trying to stifle anyone's voice. So I hear certain things and see that points of ratings against me have been taken down basically one interaction, not a couple of days before. It was not measured up or discussed with me prior to it going directly into something that can have an adverse effect on how I earn. I have questions. There are questions. And something good sister told me earlier was about appreciating my consistency. And if anything, that's one thing I am, is consistent. Like I have OCD. Like I might be on the spectrum. One thing I can be is consistent. And the consistent attitude that I show towards my work and my coworkers is number one, I respect everybody. Number two, I show up to do my damn job. That's actually number one. I show up to do my job at a high degree. I look to perfect it. As skilled as possible. The other thing I do is I don't have emotional fits or bouts about my work. What up, Deep Remedy, King Bear? I am not emotional about this shit because it's just work. And the other thing is I don't take no shit off of nobody either. If you got something foul to say to me, best believe I can say something back to you that is not foul, but will hurt you just the same. Also, if I see something wrong, I will say something about it. There is no qualms, there is no bar on my ability to articulate what my interpretation of the situation is and what my feeling on it is. None. No problem doing it. No problem articulating anything in front of anybody, higher or lower on the ranking scale. Perfect situation, a perfect story that illuminates this. One company got in some trouble with some bad actors they had. Got in a lot of trouble, got sued by the government. Lost a lawsuit, had to pay out some hundreds of millions of dollars because certain people weren't speaking up, that they were going along with doing wrong. And when our CEO at the time visited us and was given a new spiel on how we should deal with the fact that this lawsuit came down and everybody knew it, their idea was that we should be afraid and not say anything. And I asked the CEO of the company. He had questions. I had questions. CEO of the company, international company, not from here, from overseas. He asked the question, everybody else sitting there, sitting on their hands, scared to open their fucking mouth. So I asked him point blank in a room full of everybody, my supervisors included, why should we be scared to address it? Why be scared? My thinking is you can change that public opinion about you around today. Since it wasn't the fault of anybody in this room, anybody that's with the company right now, then you change that public opinion of you with every interaction with every customer you have. Why be afraid of it? Why act like you did something wrong? No, you are the representative. We are the representatives. So every positive interaction we have with the customers on a one-to-one basis, since we all face to face, person to person, changes that narrative completely. Why hide from it if it doesn't apply to you? Should have seen the rubberheads in that room looking, oh, what? Bunch of fucking cowards and cover asses. See, I wasn't raised in that mentality that you cannot speak to anybody in a high position. Never was. You better be able to speak. I wasn't in that mentality that even if you have a safety meeting, it happens daily. If you see something, you're supposed to speak up and say something because, from my understanding, that's what men do. So to be in a situation where people want to actually penalize you for actually being that type of person seems a bit foul when it is part of the company's mantra right now that you are not even mandated, required, and asked to speak up. So if I'm speaking up, how is it a negative? Especially using the same shaming tactics we know of on the YouTube space is always, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. Get the fuck out of here. That is the fallback of a weak position, of a weak defense. That's what that is. Because words were said, your feelings weren't coddled. You think it should be wrong. Oh, wasn't what you said, it's how you said it. It's your approach. My approach of not being emotional about it, or my approach in saying it and not being the shucking and jiving, sweaty face, scared slave. We're just supposed to shut up and eat the shit you shoveling in their face. Now this is, fortuitously happening at the same time we see in this Jonathan Major stuff, because he is guilty not of what he did. They ain't proved he did anything that got him this case. Prove he did none of that shit. What he's guilty of is what he didn't do, which is annoying somebody else. Like, that's punishable by law, apparently now. And putting somebody in a car. Not what the actual charges were, which was initially some strangulation and all the rest of this shit, causing bodily harm, smacking her, none of that shit. No, you ain't proved none of that. But the one thing you can see he did, which was putting her ass in the car and she jumping out in traffic, he guilty of that. So that's a charge now. And the only thing that the public sphere can remember is Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama. What up, Herb? Which is some taped from some unrelated fucking conversation a year ago with no context. This is the tale of black men in America. trying to actually be on the straight and narrow and be productive. Any little thing can be twisted to make you wrong in some sense when they just want you to be wrong. Anything. Like being told you're not a team player because you don't want to ride with somebody's bad ideas and don't know what the fuck they doing. But while you're simultaneously the only person that can back up and backs up anybody on the job, anybody on the team. Cover them and pick up their slack and finish their work that they don't know how to fucking do or did wrong to begin with. You're the only one that nobody can cover you, but you're not a team player. I can't tell you how many times I've had to actually help new hires work a goddamn iPhone. But I'm not the team player. Mm-hmm. How's that? Explain that to me. I give up my free time to help out the team, and nobody gives up their free time to help out anybody, not even higher ups. So it's shit like that that makes a motherfucker go to prick me. The only thing I seen motherfuckers play team at is complaining about motherfuckers behind the scenes that they don't want to have to listen to. It's the extent of their teamwork on some bullshit. So I'm really thinking about what Grim said in the sense that if you were subject to this kind of treatment in America as a black male, even when you're trying to do right, why the fuck are you following the rules? Why are you following the rules? What's the point? You're gonna eat shit either way. Either way. If you're not following the rules, but if you catch it, they'll use the rules to punish you. If you are following the rules, they will break the rules to punish you. Because you just got to be, sinning for something. Got to be doing this wrong. That's it. So give a fuck about the rules. They throw them out whenever they need to. Yeah, you're not supposed to come out on top. As my mother said, You're just supposed to be the plow horse. You are just supposed to be the plow horse. Get what you get and don't throw a fit. I'm thinking, at least in my situation, is if I'm not the best, who is? Point him out. And you can't, because ain't none of them doing as much work as me and being as available to the team as me. Nobody. And it's proven because can't nobody cover. They don't even have a fucking knowledge or skill set. So all of that is bullshit. 1 second, y'all. Morning. Yeah, you too. So, because I'm not a kiss ass, mush mouth, speaking hushed tones ass dude, I suffer the slings and arrows of that shit. And at times it is irritating. But it's a good question. Why be bothered? Random support, random viewers. Stay strong and keep at it, gentlemen. The world is yours. Don't believe the hype. Appreciate you, Natasha. Appreciate you on that. If you're a new viewer, like the stream. But this is the world that we're in. And this Major's case is a perfect example of the world that you're in. And I don't say this to be disheartening to people. I don't. I'm describing to you a situation, both personally and in the media, that you can see and matching up how it works on the macro, how it works on the micro, how this happens. If you want solutions, how do you deal with that shit? Well, one, you can do what Grinch said. You can. Fuck them rules. And maybe you find out where you abide and do not abide by for your benefit. You act like Neo in the Matrix. Some you can bend and some you can break. And get your gain out of it. Because I don't believe running away is going to change anything. It's too many. You're the lower population. You ain't running from them. They're here. They outnumber you. You just need to understand how to link up, move up, and consolidate your power. My mother told me how my uncle at the corporation where he works is dealing with a lot of shit right now because everybody in his group that he works, he is the only one. Well, he's one of two brothers, and he's been there a while. But he is one of two, and he the one who actually own his on his shit. The other one is a fuck up. So because of that, he catching a lot of shit right now because it's all one ethnicity there now, outside of the two of them. And not to name no names, but it's all some Filipinos there now. And they are giving him his special brand of shit now as a means to try to push him out. This is what black males deal with. If you see a black male anywhere working and he's the only one there, understand number one, he's probably very good at his job. And number two, he catching a lot of shit for nothing. Because that's our lot. Because that's our lot. And you ain't catching shit because you're terrible at your job. Catching it because you're good at it. And the people above you ain't shit. What up, CMC? Corey McPherson in the building. So, like I said, I don't say this for people to be disheartened. I say it as a way for you to understand the situation and understand you have to get it up in yourself. You have to strengthen yourself. This is the shit that's out here. And you have to protect yourself. Like Grant said, you should not be focusing on 2024. You probably shouldn't be focusing on these chicks at all. Especially no one that you can't really be cool with and deal with on some decent time. Definitely no new business. Not after some shit like this. And I'm saying women, period. I'm not talking about, oh, if it's a white one, a black one, an Asian. No, dude. Just period. Because the subtle shifts in the environment always can be felt if you got your ear to the ground. And as I said in my short the other day, who's next? That's all they're looking for. The next person. Yeah, the era of the loose ends is over. Look, I had a couple of people floating around again. That was writing me off. And I'm looking at them straight with the side eye. Like, what the fuck you want from me? Thought you was good. So what's the issue now? Because I can tell you this. Um, there ain't enough men in this world to cover all these women. There ain't. There is not. And if you just think about your own constellation of people around you, people you might have dealt with, fell out with, or whatever, and where they at now, there ain't enough men around them to cover them either. That's why they still out there. Because I can tell you, if I focus the same intensity next year that I did this year on not doing shit for anybody else, I can be relocating out this bitch. Like I told the dude before, there's a difference between working a job and having a fucking skill. When I leave, my skills go with me, and I can do that shit anywhere. All I need is my tools, and this is the main one. I don't need a desk. I don't need an office. Don't need a laptop computer. My skills go with me wherever the fuck I am. And like everybody sitting there watching Disney burn down right now, I can say proof positive that every company that's done me dirty has burned down. They have suffered a loss. And that's not for me doing it. Because ineptitude is his own punishment. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, get myself clocked in into my desk, and see if I can um, muster up the desire to act like I give a fuck today. I do care about my customers and giving them some awesome service from me, getting stuff done in their house to a high degree so they can get on living their life. And that's what I'm going to do with me. So appreciate you guys coming through. Appreciate Natasha coming through and donate to the stream. Y'all brothers out there, stay positive. Link up with some other brothers. Link up with some other black folks. Don't act so adversarial to each other because we are all we got. And in the words of Fight Club, you've been trained to look to women a lot of times, but maybe a woman is the last thing you need. I'm not saying you can't fuck on them. I'm not saying you can't have your fun, but you're gonna have to be very selective and treat that shit like a 15-year union and let them pay their dues to get closer to you because you stand to lose a lot, and they ain't losing shit but a little bit of time and some shit talking ability. Protect yourself and link up with your brothers. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.